How's that?
All right, we are recording.
Come earn your right to hit the thunder gong at ThunderDash.
Nice. All right.
Hi, Joel.
How's it going? So we are here with Laura and Kevin at ThunderDash. And so you already said the name, but first things first, please plug your upcoming event and tell everything you want them to know about it.
Absolutely. ThunderDash is 3 events in one. It's on September 28th. It is a 5K obstacle run. It is a 5K trail run with fitness challenges, or a 10K combination of the two. Come on out on September 28th. The waves start at 8:40 and go through 10 o'clock.
Where is it?
And we're just outside of San Antonio in Comfort,
Nice.
Texas.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. I appreciate this. I'm probably only going to get to a few more of these this year, and there's about 100 local OCRs that I eventually want to interview all of them, but I think probably only going to get to like 15 or so this year. But anyway, so first question then, the trail, you have an obstacle course race, you have a trail race, but the trail race has fitness events. What kind of fitness events are a part of that trail race?
So every half mile are things like burpees, power jacks, push-ups, things like that, every half mile. And we have Air Force ROTC out there telling you, do it. I want to see 10. That's not a good enough push-up. Come on, let's do it.
Nice.
So that's very exciting and fun. And probably 20% of our participants do both the fitness challenge and the obstacle challenge and combine it. And what's cool is our timer gives them split time, so they know how long the fitness challenge took them versus the OCR. And then, of course, they get a combined time as well.
Nice. You mentioned you have Air Force ROTC out there. So are you working closely with one of the military schools nearby?
So locally, UTSA here in San Antonio, University of Texas, San Antonio, we reached out to them, and I'll tell you what, at 6 a.m. in the morning, about 85 of them show up, in the dark. And so we put them out all over the course. They know what they're doing. They're experienced, and they're very motivational. And so we probably have about 120 what we call volunteers out here. So every station is staffed for safety and instruction and such. And what they do is they're out here earning money for their organization, their charity, and such. And so that's how we guarantee that we get a good turnout of volunteers.
And we're able to give a generous donation to those different local organizations, and it goes directly in the hands of them. There's no admin. We only donate to organizations where we know 100% of the funds are going to get used for whatever it is. There's also a food bank that feeds the body and the soul, and they have sent volunteers out and earned money for themselves as well. So really great local organizations.
Nice. That's a very common theme I found with local OCRs. Not that the big ones don't donate. I don't really know what they donate to if they do, but the smaller ones, almost every single one of them is either raising money for a cause or has people there raising money for a cause. So it's an awesome aspect of the race. Your ticket price, like the money you're putting towards the ticket doesn't just go to the race.
Correct.
It's a problem if it does, but still.
Right. The $35,000 has gone to local charities over the last 9 events.
That's awesome. Okay, well or maybe answers my next question. So how many years have you been hosting this event?
This will be our 10th event, but of course we've had a couple of glitches with COVID and such. But anyway, this will be the 10th anniversary.
Okay. And then is this event hosted on your own property?
It's actually a cool story. We're road bikers, And so we're out here riding in the Texas Hill Country. It's a great place to ride. And we were talking about doing an event like this. And we went around the corner here and said, this is the piece of property that, we perfect. And so we came back out that evening just to get some addresses to contact landowners. And turns out Larry was, I don't know how old you are, but he looks like the Marlboro Man from the old cigarette commercials. White hat, starch shirt. He's driving up towards the gate, and we talked to him, and within about 2 minutes, he says, well, I've got a 25-foot shredder. We can mow this area over here for parking and such.
He was in.
And so we're on 300 acres here. About 200 of it has fields for the cattle that they run out here also. About 100 acres is scrub brush and a active quarry where they quarry stone out. Okay. And so when we drove the property with Larry, when we started seeing the pits and the water and the walls and stuff, we just started going crazy. And he was going, and people are going to do what?
People are nuts. Absolutely nuts.
But since then, it's been a great relationship. After our first year, we said, okay, in about 2 or 3 weeks, we'll get everything cleaned up. And the two brothers looked at each other and said, well,
you're going to do it again.
It's not in our way. So what that allows us to do is we build permanent structures out here. We don't have to pick this up, move it, every weekend or anything. And so what we can build is, I think, unique and pretty big.
I'm going to show you one of our obstacles.
Sweet.
Right here.
Finish line.
There it is. That is a 3-story tall water slide that is the finish line. And you climb up a cargo net in the back and then slide down the muddy water. And we put baby shampoo in it and everything. So it's, makes it really slippery. And a lot of people will try to see how far they can slide.
Head first.
Yeah. And that's just one example of the really over the top permanent structures that we're able to have out here, like a 35-foot tall Tarzan swing. And it's funny now, but when we were building it, he was in a cherry picker 35 feet up in the air, and a spark hit the dry grass, and poof, we burned down about 5 acres of land. Luckily, it was just scrub, and they were thrilled because they said, oh, this is great. It gets rid of that weed willow stuff that we hate. So it was not a problem. We gave an additional donation to the volunteer fire department of $1,000 to say thank you. Thank you. So that was crazy, but it everything was okay. It did burn down one of our obstacles, so we had to rebuild it. But other than that, everything was okay.
That's one I've not heard on obstacle builds yet, is a fire. So
there you go, right?
You're the first one I've heard for that. So yeah.
I have a very hard time sitting still and just not doing something. And so Kevin will be welding on something, and my job is to watch for little fires and, put it out, stomp it out with my foot. And it is so hard for me to just stand there doing nothing. But after that incident, I know how important it is.
Yeah. Now it's a real important job now.
It's a real thing.
Yeah. How hot is it there right now?
Very, very hot. So right now, when we're working out here every weekend, it's usually 100-degree plus. And so we have camelbacks and we hydrate a lot and take breaks. But it is very hot when we're putting everything together. And we're out here for 3 months, basically, on the weekends.
Yeah, 4th of July is kind of our kickoff when we start coming out on the weekends and updating, cleaning up, figuring out where the course is going through the quarry.
Mm-hmm.
But September 28th,
yeah,
the average temperature is 82 degrees.
That's way nice.
So it's the perfect temperature for a mud run. So people are thinking, oh, it's so hot. Mud run, ugh, yuck. But they need to realize that September 28th, it's going to be 20 degrees cooler. So
Yeah, 80 is not bad at all. Is it humid?
somewhat, not
Good.
not real super humid out here in the hill country.
80 is not
Not
bad.
like North Carolina.
Yeah, yeah. Here for like 3.5 months straight, it was over 90 degrees and like always 70+% humidity. It was miserable. I hate it.
Yep.
But it's all right.
That's
Getting
awful.
cooler, the humidity's going away. It's getting better.
Yep.
Okay, what types of obstacles? You don't have to list all of them, but like what types of obstacles do you have? And thank you for showing the finish line one already, which looks awesome. And how many, generally speaking, if you haven't decided exactly how many yet, do you think you'll be?
So the 5K obstacle course, in that 5K, you're guaranteed at least 25 obstacles,
Nice.
if not more. We've got a 30-foot tire wall that we hang coming out of the quarry on a sheer 90-degree wall. We've got an airbag underneath. And like I said, the Air Force guys, we've got 2 or 3 of them hanging off the side in harnesses. And I always talk to the volunteers after or during the race saying how many, we always have an out for somebody that if it's just too hard,
Yeah.
you know, it's a longer way home or different difficulty level. It's a time penalty.
See.
Yep.
Gotcha.
But these Air Force guys, they said only one woman wouldn't do it. And they are just rah. They're down there, they're hanging with them, they're walking them up, they're just very motivational. And then down the course, another one is our fire poles. You climb up to a deck, your feet are about 15 feet off the ground, and you reach out, there's a pole in front of you, you slide. And not a whole lot of people have slid down a pole, and they just don't know what it's going to be stepping off. And probably about 18%, half of those look up there and say, hell no. And
They take longer way home.
And the other half of that 18% climb up there, look over the side and say, nope, and climb back down.
Yeah. So we tell them, you know, if you climb up there and change your mind, that's a good time penalty in and of itself. If you come up to it and you look at it and say, then we have a mowed trail through the fields that gives you that time penalty.
Got it.
And our idea is that we either have alternate obstacles that take longer, or we have a trail that takes longer than doing the obstacle. That way, a brand new person to OCR is not intimidated by these really big over-the-top obstacles. And they're not usually people worried about their time. They're just out there having fun, and they don't care if it takes them 2 hours to do the obstacle course. And then some of the fun ones, they say, can I do it again? And they go back and they do it again, and their friend takes pictures, things like that.
Nice.
So that's how we accommodate the elite athlete as well as somebody that's brand new to OCR, because we really want to expand this genre of sports. I think that it is such a great way to exercise and get out there and have a lot of fun with your friends.
Yep.
You want to tell them about the team?
So obviously we have individual, you know, you can go out and run it as an individual. Some of the obstacles, having a team would definitely be helpful. Get you up and over the berm and stuff. And what we do, we have a team competition.
For bragging rights.
Yeah, you can have as many on your team as you like, but we'll take your 5 fastest times, and add them up, and that's your team time. And so you might have the elites out here, and they get their buddies, their couch potato buddies, say, "Come on, guys, let's get off the couch, let's go do this," and they can all run on a team that way. In fact, what got us into this, I was reading your brother Luke. He did a warrior dash, right?
Yep.
We did a warrior
that was
dash
our introduction
back in 2012, I think, or so. And we looked around and said, "Wow, we could do this." And we saw some things we liked, some things we didn't like.
We can do it better.
Yeah. And so our trainer actually took us out there and said, "Come on, let's do that." And so she has won 7 out of the 9 team competitions.
Yeah.
And she'll bring a dozen people or more out on her team. Numerous times her time is not used.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the 5 fastest people on her team are others. So
Yeah.
Nice.
So she's not fast. She has a lot of good upper body strength. So she's
Mhm.
able to do we call them gorilla pubs instead of monkey bars, things like
Okay.
that. She can do all the upper body, but she can't run fast.
Yeah.
And she's, as he said, she's got 7 placards on our Thunder Gong winning board. So 7 out of 9 times she has won. And one of those times her team wasn't here. She was out of town that year. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah. We've
So what you're
had,
saying is put together a good team.
yeah.
absolutely,
The
yeah.
Lone Star Spartans have definitely given her a run for her money, but she still beat them.
Okay. Well, so that was another question I had. So there's there's open waves, there's team waves, and then you mentioned elite or competitive, whatever you want to call it. How does that work?
The 840 wave, we don't allow kids to be in the very first wave at 840. You have to be 18 and up.
Mhm.
And most of the elite do that wave. They like
Okay.
to do the very first wave. We also make that wave smaller. Even though our obstacles are plenty big to accommodate everybody, our goal is that no one ever waits. But for the elite racers, there's no extra charge. It's just the time frame that they can do the 840 wave.
Nice. Are there prizes for the elite winners and or age group winners throughout the day?
No,
Well,
just bragging rights. However, our overall winners do get a free entry to the next year.
Nice. That's cool.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Now we do
That is-
have, I've got to say, if they're still here at the end of the day, we would more than likely give them some extra swag.
Oh, yeah.
And we have done that in the past, to give them extra bandanas. We have beer glasses with our logo on it, things like that.
Nice.
And they definitely get bragging rights. We'll get up, give the live band a break and, announce them and cheer them and, just make them feel really good about it. We posted on our websites and on social media who the winners were, things like that. It's all about the bragging rights and a lot of fun. It's a great practice for the elite runner
Mhm.
and a great introduction for the brand new to OCR.
Absolutely. You just mentioned a live band.
Yes.
Yeah. So post party, well, so you saw the slip and slide finish line. 180 degrees from that
Way.
is post party, where we have our stage, beer vendor. We feed everybody with a sausage wrap, kielbasa sausage. We also do have a vegan option, and
Dodging Duck Beer. They've been
lo-
our sponsor every year. They have an awesome beer.
local microbrewery. And so that's where everybody hangs out. And the quarry guys, we have them, place rocks out all around for seating and stuff. And so it's just a great vibe. At the back end, we've got a 75-foot long inflatable obstacle course. And
That's cool.
there's this one family that we've seen over and over. They come out, they set up their big picnic setup, and grandma sits down and has 8 or 10 grandkids arrayed around here, and they do that inflatable obstacle probably 30-40 times each.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's free. And we also have a hayride that takes people out on the course. So this is I bet you, the most spectator friendly obstacle course race you're ever going to see, because we take you out onto the course to areas where you can see 4 or 5 of the obstacles happening. So that makes it a lot of fun. And the kids like the hayride aspect of it and those kinds of things.
So that's unique. Never heard that at all. The inflatable at the end. I've done a race where an inflatable, I don't know how big it was, but it was pretty big, was included in the race, but not just as like a festival area thing.
Right.
So that's awesome. I think
It's for the kids.
you're the first one who's mentioned having a live band. That's cool. So
Yep.
yeah, I mean, this sounds awesome.
It is.
One year we had a DJ who was an Elvis impersonator, and he was a junior high school teacher, and that was an interesting year.
That was like, I think we'll stick with live band. I mean, it was a lot of fun, but
Okay, so you're wearing the ThunderDash t-shirts right now. Do you happen to have any medals with you? And if not, it's fine.
oh. So there's
Oh,
one
right.
hanging back here. By the way, this background,
Yeah.
this is the artifact wall where these are things that the course itself has taken from people, and we hang them up here. And it's a great photo op behind the wall. Here is this year's medal. This sucker
Awesome.
weighs 1.2 pounds.
That's
It
heavy.
is literally a piece of the quarry.
That's super cool.
We
Wow.
find rocks that are the right size. Kevin cuts and cuts and cuts and cuts. And then we paint it. We laser the logo. And voila, you have got the most unique metal you've ever seen. It's intense. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, that's really cool that it's actually a part of the course. So you're walking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we want
you do
people to come
competition.
take a piece of the course, since
Yeah.
it's been taking pieces of them.
Not only the mud in your ear, but you'll get something to hang around your neck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you cut them, you're not trying to cut them uniformly, right? You're just cutting them. So everyone's is a little different.
Oh, absolutely. So
That's
we
so
just get them
cool.
down to like a 4x4 size and then start slabbing them off.
That's awesome. Yeah, I like that. That's
on Instagram. There's a progression to see how they're made.
okay. Well, then everyone needs to check that out because that'd be interesting to watch.
There
I
you go.
think I saw one of those. I definitely didn't see the whole series though.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, man. Yeah. Unique medals, unique festival, unique obstacles, and then the wall of doom behind you.
There's some underwear up there and stuff.
There was a
Yikes,
group that they were pirates, and they lost their sword. Oh, speaking of losing things, I'll tell you real quick. The one year we had a military guy that was getting ready to be deployed. The tunnels,
Right.
It's shoe sucking, ring sucking mud that you crawl through. He lost his wedding ring. Hadn't been married a year yet, and he lost his wedding ring.
Not great.
2 weeks later, we came out with a metal detector from our neighbor. It was his grandfather's or great grandfather's metal detector.
We had to pump it out.
Yeah, we had to pump the water out to get down. We found the ring and got it back to him.
That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you, especially because he was about to deploy. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine a ring coming off during a race, but I used to wear like a silicone ring in place of my wedding ring because I normally have a metal one, but then I just stopped wearing them altogether when I race because they kind of just get in the way. But
sure,
yeah,
absolutely. Awesome. They might get hung on something or
yeah. I did a few with the metal one, and I was like, this is a bad idea. It can get hooked and it can mess up your finger really good.
Oh yeah.
Right.
All right, so a slight deviation from the event itself, but marketing is insanely important for these events. A lot of these events, in my opinion, have gone away because of marketing, partly. Also, the whole pandemic thing didn't help anyone.
No.
So what types of things do you all do for marketing to make sure you get the word out about your event and get people there to race?
Well, obviously, we're across all the social platforms and such out there, and incredible. We have about a 40% return rate for past participants, and so once they do it, they really like it.
Word of mouth.
Yeah, word of mouth. We are next Saturday. We're going to do our little local Bernie parade. Be handing out brochures and such. A little bit of guerrilla marketing there. Stuff. So.
And I have my van parked on Main Street in Bernie, Texas today with with placards with the QR code on the side of my van.
Nice. Hey, whatever it takes.
We don't have a big marketing budget, so we certainly use our friends and family to put postcards out at gyms. We do have a new fantastic media person named Casey, and she does all our social media, and she's been reaching out to people like you for interviews. And she looks at the algorithms on social media, all those kinds of things, and tries to utilize our advertising dollars as efficiently as possible.
Yeah, I like marketing in the sense that I like the idea of it. And in practice on social media, I just don't really enjoy social media a whole lot, but I'm the one who my brother and I both do it for our company, but I try and handle it more so. And more times than not, I don't enjoy it, but it's so important. It's so important to get out there.
Somebody else, because we have day jobs, so you know, that would affect our day jobs. So we have somebody else taking care of all that, and she answers questions and does all of those things for us so that we can do our day jobs.
Awesome, cool. Well, I'm glad that's going well. Next question, and I've asked this, I think, of everyone so far. Hosting an event is not an easy thing. There's a lot of logistics, a lot of planning, a lot of everything. A lot of hard work goes into it. So what part of hosting an obstacle course race do you find the most challenging?
For us, the weather.
Okay.
Obviously, we want mud pits and such. Luckily, we've got a well out here now that we can pump water, and we did have one year where we actually had to push back the event. We worked up all the way to Friday night, and then we got 2 inches of rain. It had been raining that whole week, but then we got 2 inches of rain dumped on us Friday, and we could not get emergency vehicles out onto the course. So that was a no-go. But we were able to take care of it 2 weeks later and everything, and everybody came back, and we had a great event. There. But as with any other event, that's kind of how we got drug into this. We started working for other race directors. So we'll work 12, 15 events in a year. We've got 3 trailers with about 30,000 pounds of equipment, like start finish lines, fencing, PA systems, signage
bike racks for triathlons.
Yeah. So last weekend we did a triathlon, for 400 triathletes. We did transition area and stuff.
But we wanted our own event, and we couldn't figure out what we wanted to do. And when we did Warrior Dash, we're like, that's it. That's the event that's going to be our own event. Yeah.
So your day job is working with events.
Oh no, that's weekends.
That's
okay.
Yeah, that's all weekends.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
No, I've got a small contracting company where we do like gated access for neighborhoods, apartments, and such.
Oh, nice.
So that's why most everything you're going to see out here is going to be welded up, with steel and stuff. So that's what I'm comfortable with.
And I work in sales for Abbott Nutrition. So.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Wow. You're insanely busy. So you're pretty much helping host events on the weekends all year round, and then hosting your own also.
Yep.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Yes. But we do turn down jobs in September. Say, nope, we can't do any jobs in September. We have to focus on our events. So they have to find someone else to do logistics, weekend of logistics.
Okay.
I would say the other hardest thing, other than, having too much water or not enough water, is just, as you said, it's the marketing aspect. I wish I could find that magic bullet that really makes our website go viral or our social media go viral and reach a lot more new people. That I think is the hardest part. We'd love to have 2,000 people out here, but it ends up being about 800.
800? That 800 is a good number. I mean, 2,000 would be nice, but 800 is a solid number, at least based on what I know from other events.
Sure.
So that sounds really good, actually.
And we could accommodate 2,000. So we just need to figure out where to find them.
What you're saying is anyone who's listening right now should sign up right now and go do the event.
Absolutely.
ThunderDash.com.
Yes.
I
Or
will
if-
be.
If
I will
you're
have
busy that weekend, follow us on social media and share it with your friends.
There you go. And then sign up for next year.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so talking about signing up, what is the average? Because I know prices for tickets change year round typically for events. What's like the ballpark number for a ticket?
Well, right now it's 79 or 89 for the 10K.
Okay.
And it'll bump up $10 in about
10 days, 12 days.
10, 12 days. And day of registration will be another $10 more. We
Okay.
are going to leave our online registration open all the way till 9 a.m. the day of the race.
Nice. Okay.
Or they can just bring cash out to the event. We prefer not to try to run a credit card because our connection is iffy.
Mhm. No, that makes sense. And if it doesn't swipe, then they can't pay, and they can't pay, they can't race, and then that's not fun for anyone.
We
Yeah.
have 3 different phones running right now with different carriers to make sure our connection stays connected here today.
Nice. Do you do early bird pricing? So if someone sees
We did.
this, it's too late this year, they already have a commitment or something, but they want to sign up for next year.
We will open our early registration the day of the event for next
Okay.
year. We don't want someone to accidentally sign up for next year when they meant to sign up for this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
So we will open it up the day of the event. And yes, it'll be extremely less. It'll be probably 55 and 65.
That's a super like extremely reasonable price, especially for an event with the size of obstacles you have. That's extremely reasonable. I found
We
almost,
think so.
the vast majority of the races I've talked to so far, the price is between like 60, well, not counting early bird pricing, but just average pricing overall. It's usually somewhere between $70 and $130, which is still like almost 100 lower than some of the big races now.
Oh,
so,
sure. Yeah. And T-shirt, we feed you, and
1 free beer,
get the beer and the post party.
live band, all that good stuff.
Is the food free?
It's included. Yes.
What?
Yes.
It's
That's
a
a first.
sausage, kielbasa sausage wrapped in a tortilla.
That's wow. Nice.
And
Drinks
then he
and
makes a bunch
food
of broccoli rice.
complimentary. What's
And
that?
then he makes broccoli rice casserole for the vegetarians.
That's awesome. Wow. You're the first ones I've heard of who have actual food, not just like protein bars or something at the finish line. That's included in the race entry. That's awesome.
Well,
Wow.
and then also, I told you about 6 a.m. when all the volunteers show up. We hand them 2 breakfast tacos in the morning, give them a T-shirt, a 2-way radio, and hear your instructions and scatter them out.
Fed volunteers are happy volunteers.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And then at the end of the day, once all of our paid waves have gone through and the course is clear, we'll turn loose all the volunteers and they can run the course also.
That's cool. That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
So then you just flood your course with a bunch of Air Force ROTC people.
Yeah, and there always is a portion of them and said, I did this in basic. I don't need to do this again.
No, come on, do it again.
What's one interesting, early on, we used to use the junior ROTC from the high schools, and they were a fantastic group of kids and everything. And once we started the volunteer wave, they stayed together, and there were a lot of other groups out here with them. And they hit the first obstacle, which was basically just a pond crossing. And they came out of it, and one of them said, Lieutenant, I lost a shoe. And he said, okay, everybody, lose a shoe. And they finished all with 1 shoe on.
Nice. Uniformity is key.
Absolutely, right? And we did have one year, the Lone Star Spartans, one of their members was going through some medical issues, and they were having a fundraiser for him, and so they got pledges for the number of laps that they did, and 3 of them did 7 laps.
They did all 7 laps.
And one of them, Muddy J, he's known locally, and he runs everything barefoot, and he ran the whole thing barefoot.
Nice.
And I mean, this place is prickly and sharp, and he did not cut his feet at all, which is pretty amazing.
I mean, he was used to it. So,
but they asked us, look, can we run it more than one time, and told us what they were doing. And we said, absolutely.
Is that you generally offer, or was that more of a special circumstance?
That was a special circumstance.
Yeah, Lone Star Spartans, they've been a great group from day one. And, and so that no worry, accommodating them.
Yeah.
But if we let everybody do that, we wouldn't have enough room for all
It'd be slow.
Oh, that makes sense. Just checking, you never know.
Sure.
Okay, so we've heard pretty much everything. Is there anything else about your event that you want people to know?
I think we've covered it.
Yeah. Right here at post party, I can see 1, 2, 3 obstacles right here. So, I mean, somebody finishes early, they can be standing right here with a beer, watching their buddy finish, okay. Razzing them and such. And also the fitness challenge, when it runs through here to get their lap time, the last fitness challenge is 30 burpees right here.
Not 30, 10.
No. Oh no, we're not easy on them.
Okay.
And so
all right.
whether razzing or motivation, you'll have an audience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
With the burpees, the very last fitness challenge. Yes.
Awesome.
The other thing that is unique is that a lot of our obstacles are made from what you call upcycled products. So we have our rolling pins obstacle, where you just have to basically kind of swim up the rollers.
Okay.
It goes from like 2 feet to 4 feet. So it's a little bit of an incline, and you just grab and pull. It's made out of water conditioner tubes. So we take something in its current form and turn it into an obstacle. So that's just a little bit less stuff that's going into the landfills. And we're always trying to accommodate that. And it's a great cost saving too, because we find stuff for free that we can turn into an obstacle.
Yeah.
In fact, Monday morning, I'm meeting up with a road crew on the interstate. They've been replacing all the guardrails, and the guardrails are mounted on the wooden post.
Yeah.
They're pulling the wooden post out, and I saw this big pile of them at their little spot there. And I said, "What are y'all doing with those?" He says, "Why? You want some?"
He's like, "Yeah, I do.
You want them all."
We don't know what we're going to do with them yet, but we're going to take 25 of them.
if nothing else, we'll put them out as a carry. You're going to come up and have to pick up one of these 5-foot, 8-inch logs.
Yeah.
And carry them.
I tried it. I could pick it up. So
That's awesome. That's ingenuity.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you, Laura and Kevin. Thank you for talking about your event and sharing all the information about it. Hopefully people see this before the event, and even if they don't see it before this year, they'll sign up for it next year. So
absolutely.
I wish you the best on your event. If I could make it, I would. I will not be able to make it this year. I'm pretty much swamped with work right now and haven't been able to make it to events in already. So, but anyway, it's all good. Thank you for sharing about ThunderDash. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's great talking to you.
Absolutely. And we'll keep in touch.
Okay. Take care, Joel.
You too. Bye.